Alright, we're continuing to read Marcovaldo by Italo Calvino. We've reached Autumn 3, the Municipal Pigeon. The route's birds follow as they migrate southwards or northwards. In autumn or in spring, rarely cross the city. Their flights cleave the heavens high above the striped humps of fields and along the edge of woods. At one point they seem to follow the curving line of a river or the furrow of a valley. At another, the invisible paths of the wind. But they sheer off as soon as they range of a city's rooftops. Sheer off as soon as the range of a city's rooftops looms up before them. And yet once a flight of autumn woodcock appeared in a street slice of sky. And the only person to notice them was Marcovaldo, who always walked with his nose in the air. He was on a little tricycle truck, and seeing the birds, he pedaled harder, as if he were chasing them, in the grip of a hunter's fantasy, though the only gun he had ever held was an army rifle. And as he proceeded, his eyes on the flying birds, he found himself at an intersection, the light red, in the midst of the automobiles, and he came within a hair's breadth of being run over. As a traffic cop, his face purple, wrote name and address in a notebook, Marcovaldo sought again with his eyes those wings in the sky, but they had vanished. At work, his fine brought him harsh reproaches. "Can't you even get traffic lights straight?" his foreman, Signor Villaghelmo, shouted to him. "What were you looking at anyway, knucklehead?" "I was looking at a flight of woodcock," he said. "What?" Signor Villaghelmo was an old man with his eyes glistened, and Marcovaldo told him the story. "Saturday, I'm going out with dog and gun," the foreman said, full of vigor, now forgetting his outburst. "The migration's begun, up in the hills. Those birds were certainly scared off by the hunters up there, and they flew over the city." All that night Marcovaldo's brain ground and ground like a mill. Saturday. If the hills are full of hunters, as is quite likely, God knows how many woodcock will fly over the city. If I handle it right, Sunday I'll eat roast woodcock. The building where Marcovaldo lived had a flat roof, with wires strung for drying laundry. Marcovaldo climbed up there with 3 of his children, carrying a can of bird lime, a brush, and a sack of corn. While the children scattered kernels of corn everywhere, he spread bird lime on the parapets, the wires, the frames of the chimney pots. He put so much on that Filippetto, while he was playing, almost got stuck fast. That night, Marcovaldo dreamed of the roof dotted with fluttering, trapped woodcock. His wife, Domitilla, more greedy and lazy, dreamed of ducks already roasted, lying on the chimneys. His daughter, Isolina, romantic, dreamed of hummingbirds to decorate her hat. Michelino dreamed of finding a stork up there. The next day, every hour one of the children went up to inspect the roof. He would just peek out from the trap door so, if they were about to alight, they wouldn't be scared. Then he would come down and report. The reports were not good. But then, towards noon, Petruccio came back shouting, "They're here! Papa, come and see!" Marcovaldo went up with a sack. Trapped in the bird lime there was a poor pigeon, one of those gray urban doves, used to the crowds and racket of the squares. Fluttering around, other pigeons contemplated him sadly as he tried to unstick his wings from the mess on which he had unwisely lighted. Marcovaldo and his family were sucking the little bones of that thin and stringy pigeon which had been roasted when they heard a knocking at the door. It was the landlady's maid. "The signora wants you. Come at once." Very concerned because he was 6 months behind with the rent and feared eviction, Marcovaldo went to the signora's apartment on the main floor. As he entered the living room, he saw that there was already a visitor, the purple-faced cop. "Come in, Marcovaldo," the signora said. "I am informed that on our roof someone is trapping the city's pigeons. Do you know anything about it?" Marcovaldo felt himself freeze. "Signora, signora," a woman's voice cried at that moment. "What is it, Gwendolina?" The laundress came in. "I went up to hang out the laundry, and all the wash is stuck to the lines. I pulled on it to get it loose, but it tore. Everything's ruined. What can it be?" Marcovaldo rubbed his hand over his stomach, as if his digestion were giving him trouble. All right, everyone. Until next time.